Hey, what's going on, folks? Welcome to the Coastal Bros. I'm gonna bring in one of my boys right now, SoCal. What up, SoCal? How you doing? Oh, you're not on. Can I hear you?
Hey, what's up, brother? How you doing? Sorry about that.
There we go. Yo, what's
Yeah.
going on?
Hey, man, just another day. It's hard out in these streets right now.
Yes, it is, and hopefully we'll be bringing two wallets in, and big boy, they should be coming in here sooner or later.
Right on.
But how is your day going? How is it going today?
Just been pushing the new show, the new channel, trying to line up things for the future here at the Dolphin show. There's as you know, man, there's a lot in the Dolphin universe that's happening. So I'm just trying to get it all ready to go, man.
There it is, a Dolphin show with SoCal and the Wild Man every
Yeah.
Friday. So,
Yeah.
all right. Well, all right. Let's get into some of these crazy playoff games.
Yeah.
We'll break down. Let's break down until everybody gets here. I'll give them a feedback on my Chiefs. Let's break down the NFC Championship game. There, I wasn't shocked because I got one right.
Yeah.
But I was pretty shocked at first in the beginning. In the beginning. What's up, Two Wallets? You there?
Little technical difficulties.
Technical difficulties. So while we get him situated, I'll just
Keep it moving.
keep it moving. So I was pretty shocked that the score. I thought, wow, man, the 49ers are gonna whoop on the LA Rams, and I didn't see that coming at first, but I was really shocked that the Rams weren't going. But I was like, man, this is a very familiar team, very familiar when it came to the 49ers and how they played with the against when they went to made that Super Bowl run. So
Yeah.
at the end though, I mean, hey, Matthew Stafford, I'm very, 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 very happy for him to be coming on and winning. Um, that whole Detroit. Detroit. I was messing with a friend of mine from work. He's from Detroit. He's from Michigan, and he said, "Hey, guess what? Detroit. Yeah, you have two repping Detroit this year. Not just Matthew Stafford, but now you also got the rant. You got Eminem. So, so Detroit is popping.
Yeah, they got it in now, huh?
Yeah, they're
By way of LA.
by way of LA. Yes. Who would have thought that the fact that that team in that year when he said, "Hey, I want Matthew Stafford," so he got Matthew Stafford. So, but hey, they're in. But this is the last time we see Jimmy Garoppolo in a 49er
Man,
jersey.
there's so many Jimmy G rumors out there right now, rumor mill, I don't know. I hear that Lance is ready to go. He's an eager guy to get going, so we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, would you take him in Miami?
No, man, I'm stuck on. You know me. I'm on that I'm on that choo
On that
choo.
choo. Oh,
Yeah, I'm on that choo choo. So
all right. I
yeah.
wonder if two Wallace would take him in Tennessee.
Oh,
So.
you know, two wallets to take him. Come on, man. Who are we kidding? Two wallets, man. In Tennessee, and the Tennessee fans will lose their mind.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I think that's a big upgrade over Ryan Tannehill. I mean, the only thing is you got to keep Jimmy, healthy. That's the only problem with Jimmy Garoppolo. The boy could ball. The only problem is you can't keep the dude healthy.
Yeah, I was wondering if they got a good offensive line in Tennessee, so I think he might be able to get a healthy, and then they got a good running game, obviously with Henry and Foreman. So
Yeah.
that would be good to see. I would like to see him go there, if he had to, but we'll see. I kind of wish he maybe even go to like Carolina or something like that, somewhere away. Well, hey, he might come down here to Tampa. Since they're coming, they need a quarterback. Could you imagine that? Jimmy G goes to Tampa Bay.
Man, that would be the ultimate. That would be the ultimate Tom Brady backup story. I mean, backs him up in his career at his old team.
Yes, or then he goes to the new team. That would be pretty good. I don't think they'll do that. I think they're gonna look for somebody maybe in the draft or try to get a what do you call those? They use it in transitional, like they do the transitional champion.
Yeah,
in like wrestling, the transitional quarterback. Just get somebody for right now, and then we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
So
yeah, there's Mr. Strobing lights right there.
Strobe light. What's going on?
Technical difficulties.
Yes. So we're talking a little bit about the 49er game. Jimmy G, would you take him in Tennessee?
No.
What? Hold on.
Yeah, yeah. Stop the show. You gonna give me a stroke on all them lights?
Hold on. One more time. Stop the presses.
You know, because I'm in Batman gear, so I'll keep it red today.
Why not in Tennessee?
Well, one, because that is SoCal's favorite quarterback, former wide receiver Ryan Tannehill.
Favorite quarterback? I don't think so, but he didn't have a real shot in Miami.
But he definitely had a shot in Tennessee. He had a couple of good years, and then he just, at the very end of the season, he always comes up short with just the wrong throw at the wrong time.
Yeah.
Now, why would I not want Jimmy G? Jimmy G is injury prone. Now, if you're asking me what quarterback I would want, and for everybody out there, you didn't catch the episode that we had on Saturday with Big Dog.
Great show, by the way.
Good show. You can find it.
It was a great show.
Oh, thank you. I am definitely in favor of Teddy Bridgewater coming and sitting down for a year and learning the system. And then finding out in year 2 what really goes on. But I'm willing to give Ryan Tannehill one more shot with this offensive coordinator, which Tennessee, the heart of Tennessee really is not in favor of Downing right now. But Pittsburgh needs him more than we do.
You guys like playing with fire down there in Tennessee, man. I wouldn't give him another year.
Whoa, there's a hot take. Mr. #1 Ryan Tannehill fan wouldn't let Ryan Tannehill play after. Let me get this straight. You do realize since 2018, out of all the qualified teams, the winningest quarterbacks are Tom Brady, Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, and you never guess who #4 is. That would be Ryan Tannehill. Like I said, I'm willing to give him one more year. But this year, he's got to step up. Or, as social media said, Aaron Rodgers is one to come in there now. I don't want no Aaron Rodgers. We don't do soft in Tennessee.
You think
Aaron Rodgers is soft? Yes.
No. Do you think Aaron Rodgers goes to San Francisco?
No.
I think he's going to end up. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to end up on the Denver Broncos.
Really?
That's where I think he's headed. Yeah, that's where his coordinator is, man. And he talked about that guy before. I think he follows him there because he's going to run that offense. He's going to run that Green Bay offense. That playbook, Aaron Rodgers knows it. It's a plug and play for Aaron Rodgers and for that coaching staff. So I think it's a no-brainer. They don't have a quarterback established there. Right.
I actually like him going into San Francisco because I think that's what they're missing. If they go to San Francisco, they're missing a good quarterback. They're probably in the Super Bowl this year. Now I know Rodgers' record is is 12-10 in 22 games from 2009 to 2022. 2008, I think he had a filling game, mop-up duty against the Seahawks. So In 22 games, she's 12-10 with 1 Super Bowl championship. So, I mean, if he needs to leave, I think it's going to help his career. But I mean, I like him in San Francisco. I would think, you can't beat him, join him, right? I mean, that's what they always say.
That's what they say, but man.
So, all right. So the Rams beat them. Congrats to Matthew Stafford on going to the Super Bowl for the first time in his career. They win 20-17. Now let's get into the other game. Man, was I heartbroken. SoCal, you were shocked.
Oh man, my jaw was on the ground.
2 Wallets was shocked. The only one that actually got this right was Big Boy, and he ain't even here to defend himself. So, where do I start? I guess I got to start with this. You take the points. Okay, I'm sorry. I like the aggressiveness, but in the first half, I blame Andy Reid for the first half mistakes more than I do Patrick Mahomes. And here's why. First off, you have to let your quarterback know you have no timeouts. Okay, so if the ball gets thrown inbounds, where half is done, and there's no more timeouts, then we're not going to get any score. We're not going to be able to score. Okay, because they lost the timeout because he called a timeout, then he challenged. He won the challenge, but because he called a timeout before he challenged, they lost the timeout. So, and then I blame Andy Reid because I know I'm gonna say Tom Brady. Patrick Mahomes is supposed to be compared to Tom Brady. I'm sorry, you need the boy to marinate more. He's only been to 2 Super Bowls. He's 1 out of 2. He's been to 4 AFC Championship games. He's 2 for 2. Okay, so if I'm Andy Reid and I'm the head coach, I'm saying no. Sit your butt down. We're gonna kick this 3. Why? Because Cincinnati has not stopped us. So let's go up 14. We've scored 4 positions, 4 scores. Doesn't have to be 4 touchdowns. Could be 4 scores. That would have got the momentum. Would have stayed with Kansas City. That would have been okay. Hey, guess what? Cincinnati's now wondering, man, we can't stop these guys. Instead, you give all the momentum in the world to Cincinnati. And that's why it's like, great. Then, boom, you just start seeing it fall. And for everybody that's called me, text me, telling me the game was over, it's a blowout, I told you. I know this team. I haven't seen this bad of a collapse since the last time Andy Reid coached the Chiefs team, and they lost to Andrew Luck and the Colts. And everybody called me back then and told me, oh, congratulations on winning. Don't call your boy Big Chief when the Chiefs are up 18 points in the first half. Call me at the end. Call me when the 4th quarter is done. Don't call me.
Well, I'm guilty for calling you. I know that.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
I was one of them.
You believe the hype. And then I got to blame the play calling again. Yes, Mahomes choked, maybe. But I also got to say the play calling choked because a minute 30 to go. Great drive. If Mahomes you ain't calling Mahomes choke. He drove the field team all the way down. He had a minute and 30 inside the 6. Bad play calling. Because if I'm gonna pull this up real quick. Mahomes had a worse passing rate of 12.3 in the second half, but in the first half he was on fire. But what got me was that McKinnon and CEH Edwards-Helaire were averaging almost about 5 and 6 yards a carry. They were in the 6-yard line with Cincinnati with no timeouts. Run the ball. You drop back twice because you're trying to get your superstar to have a great catch. What happens? He gets sacked, and then he sacks and fumbles the ball. And thank goodness for his guard, because could you imagine if that's the last play of the end for the whole entire season, to where you not only did you get sacked, but you fumbled the ball, you fumbled your season away. They get lucky, they win, they kick the great kick, then they win the coin toss, and I'm like, here we go again. I'm gonna have to hear another week about how the coin toss helped the Chiefs win. But guess what? I don't want to hear about the coin toss. Cincinnati did what Buffalo couldn't do a week ago. They played defense. They stopped them. That was a bad pass by Mahomes. He shouldn't have done that pass to Tyreek Hill. He was double coverage. Great play by the defender. And I noticed that penalty flags are getting eaten. The refs are eating their flags a lot during these last 2 games.
Yeah.
And we lose. And great job by Cincinnati. Joe Burrow, hey, great. Joe Cool as they call him. But
hey, but can I inject real quick? I did see a fumble at the end of that game over overtime. Mixon did fumble the ball, and it wasn't called. Andy Reid saw it, and the Chiefs had the ball. So that kick at the end of the game that won the game for the Cincinnati Bengals should have never happened. Actually, the Chiefs should have had the ball.
yes,
there was a flaw there at the end of the game.
I saw the replay. I mean, I saw like a couple a replay earlier, and I saw somebody mentioned that Nixon actually did fumble the ball, but they didn't review it. They should have been able to review it in overtime. So, but again, another missed call because hey, I couldn't have a bunch of calls. Hey, in the Chiefs in the first half, I believe got away with like 2 pass interference calls. So, I mean, it was eat your flags day for both games. They didn't have that many. I mean, the Chiefs, they had no penalties, and there was only 1 penalty, 1 false start. So much for the crowd noise. So big crowd noise would cost a bunch of false starts. I think they had like 2.
Yeah.
So, but hey, like I said, congrats to the Cincinnati Bengals. They won it. They deserved it. Chiefs, you could say they choked it away. Andy Reid. Now, here's my question to ask you guys real quick. Is Patrick Mahomes, forget the next Tom Brady, is he the next Aaron Rodgers?
Oh, no.
One Super Bowl win in 22 playoff games for Aaron Rodgers. Like I said, Mahomes as of 11 games is 8-3, 2 Super Bowl appearances, 1 victory. Is he more Aaron Rodgers? Will he not make? Because we heard Keyshawn Johnson, who Mr. Two Wallets was calling out earlier on social media, said that the Chiefs will never make it to the Super Bowl again. Do you see Aaron Rodgers or Patrick Mahomes become more of an Aaron Rodgers now?
I mean, I don't know about how Two Wallets feels, but I definitely don't. I think Aaron Rodgers not Aaron Rodgers. I think Patrick Mahomes definitely is actually probably in a category all by himself. I think when it's all said and done, he may have more Vince Lombardis than Tom Brady. He's still really, really young. So, I mean, what is he, like 23, 24, something like that?
Yeah,
I mean, he's still super young, man, coming into his own. And to say that you've already been to that many championship games, already been to the Super Bowl, won a Super Bowl, I mean, words can't even describe the sky is the limit for that guy. And like I say, man, I think when it's all said and done, you're going to see Patrick Mahomes with maybe 9. I mean, it's going to be incredible to watch. I think, man, this guy has it. I really do. I think this guy has it.
Well, he's 26 years old.
26. Okay.
So, if you looked at what Brady was 26, he had like, 3 Super Bowls?
But how many did Brady go to that he lost?
Well, Brady
He went to 10 and lost 3.
Right. So if he goes to the same amount of Super Bowls and yet he wins those from here on out, he automatically will have more. And you got to remember that the Chiefs are at the top of the AFC regardless. I mean, the Bengals are not, even though the Bengals made it to the Super Bowl, they are not an upper echelons team. It's a fluke luck that they won in the AFC Championship. They should have not have won that game. There was some things that had to go their way for them to be able to win that game. I mean, I'm hearing it on Twitter all day that, Joe Burrow is the next greatest thing, but Joe Burrow didn't do much in that game. It was more the defense than it was Joe Burrow or Mixon. Mixon was running his tail off. So, I mean, I don't want to anoint Joe Burrow just yet. I do think the guy is a good quarterback and he's still building his resume, but he is not at the top of the echelons of quarterbacks yet. And for people to start anointing him over Patrick, I think is a little bit premature. I think Patrick is still at the top of that heat there. You still have him and Josh Allen. And there's still other guys there that, and actually teams. They're still, I mean, you still like Joey's team, Two Wallets team, the Titans. The Titans are going to have something to say next year. I mean, to think the Titans are going to have something to say and are going to want to be in that top 3 team in the AFC is beyond me. And you think Buffalo's going to come back next year with a vengeance as well. So, I mean, you're going to have more than 4 or 5 teams that the Bengals are really not going to be able to run with consistently, and that Patrick is going to be at the top of the heat of. I mean, that's my opinion on it.
It's going to be interesting offseason to see though, because they got to either sign Tyrann Mathieu or they got to sign Frank Clark.
I heard both want to come back.
They both do. Well, and Tyrann Mathieu wants to come back, but he did put a tweet out that said, "Hey, thank you for my time in Kansas City. I'm loving this. I'm loving the thank you very much for a great career." So maybe he wants to get paid. So
Tuwal's getting trolled right now.
Tuwal's getting trolled.
Like for real though. Like Okay. Let me go ahead and have my turn on the question that was asked about is all of our guys' favorite quarterback in the NFL becoming an Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady? Is that correct?
No, it's more, is he not really going to be the next Tom Brady? Is he Aaron Rodgers? Aaron Rodgers got 1 Super Bowl in 22 games.
Is he going to be better than Tom Brady? He's already better than Tom Brady. He has a stronger arm. He has an athleticism that Tom Brady has never had as a traditional quarterback. The only thing that he doesn't have is the intelligence, the patience that Tom Brady had. And obviously the experience, because nobody's been in the league 22 years except for Tom Brady. Is he Aaron Rodgers? They're actually really kind of similar. Their footwork is horrendous. They both have ridiculously powerful arms. They both do things on the field you really shouldn't be able to do. I think Aaron Rodgers makes it a little bit more easy. But that being said, if we're going on careers, let's just do this. Mahomes has been in the league 5 years. His first year, he played
1 game.
1 game. No touchdowns, 1 pick. Ever since then, he's played 4 full seasons, well, minus the injury that he had. He's throwing 37 touchdowns a year. He's got 151 touchdowns in 4 years.
Correct.
Aaron Rodgers don't do that, dude.
Okay, but looking at career, Aaron Rodgers has gotten to the playoffs a lot of times, 22 games, in fact. Okay, and he's gone to the Super Bowl once and choked off 2 straight #1 seeds. And and I'm just saying, in those many years, in that gap, do you think that Patrick Mahomes is going to start being more of a Tom Brady, where he wins 1 championship? Brett Favre 1 championship. I mean, Big Ben got 2. I'm talking about championships, not necessarily
this may
careers.
come off as a little harsh. If we're talking just playoff victories, when's the last time we actually seen Aaron Rodgers win a playoff game? It's been a while.
Last year, I think he went 1 and 2.
He won 1 last year?
I think he won 1.
I thought he lost last year.
They lost to the 49ers in the conference championship game last year.
Yeah.
Or 2 years ago, something like that.
2 years ago, yeah.
Yeah.
Right now, to me, Aaron Rodgers is LeBron James. I saw that dude quit.
Okay, but at the end of it, SoCal's already said
have more rings than Aaron Rodgers.
Okay, that's basically where it comes down to it. You think he'll have another Super Bowl win?
Yes. Will he have as many as Tom Brady? No.
I just want more.
He's not going to have an offensive line built for him every single year. He's not going to have perfect cap situation like New England always found themselves.
I want 3. That's all I really want. Give me at least 3.
I'll take 1.
Well, I know you. I got 1 already. I need 2 more. I want 3.
Yeah, you got 1. I ain't got 1.
Hey, just get me in the playoffs.
Well,
just get me without a scandal.
Yeah. We'll get to that in a minute. But I mean, I just want him to have as many as Troy. You know what I'm saying? Give me at least 3.
Mm-hmm.
You don't got to. I mean, I don't want him to be Brett Favre, who only got 1. I mean, Big Ben got 2. So I just hope he doesn't just get one, and then we're gonna say like, okay, by the end of the day, he needs to stop. He needs to stop doing commercials. What he need to do? Stop.
Which one?
Hey,
Both.
see during the Chief game, every commercial was a Patrick Mahomes commercial.
Seriously, like
Yeah.
Like I'm telling you, it's like, man. I mean, I know we lost, but it's kind of like, all right, cool. And now I get to enjoy the Super Bowl. I'm gonna be stressed out like I was the last 2 years. Even though last year I was like, this game is over. But I mean, so let's get into a couple other topics real quick before we get to the big one. New coaches, new head coaches in new places. But first, Tom Brady says goodbye. Tom Brady says bye-bye. Nah. Hey, goodbye.
Bye-bye, Tom.
First ballot Hall of Famer. Right? I mean, now ESPN was getting trapped. Adam Schefter was getting messed up because they thought, he hadn't said nothing. I knew this was gonna come. Were you shocked that it was actually gonna it happened now? Did you think maybe they were gonna have like this big? He wrote a big nice Instagram a post, which by the way, he didn't even thank the Patriots. He just thanked the Buccaneers.
Yeah, that was nuts.
So,
but I did hear on Twitter that when he left the Patriots, he wrote them a huge newspaper article. So that was the reasoning why he was already telling them goodbye. He already told them goodbye.
Yeah, and him and the owner from Robert Kraft did have a little parting thing after he left Tampa Bay.
So I just was like, look, I was kind of upset, but I'm not gonna get upset with the reporters because hey, that's their job. But it's like I know he didn't probably want that to come out because he wanted the conference championship games to mean something. He didn't want to overshadow that conference championship games. It did. It overshadowed it a lot. At least just until the start of the games.
One moment. I'd like just 1 second. I'd like to thank everybody who's coming in on Instagram. What up, Big Kerm? Congratulations for your Las Vegas Raiders. And we're gonna get into that right now.
Yes. So real quick, I was just upset. I wouldn't have mind him announcing his retirement like this week because the Pro Bowl. Because who really cares about the Pro Bowl? I thought maybe he would have like a video thing where all his family, and I didn't think he would just go. But I'm glad to see him go finally. He's well-deserved career. I know in the East they're like, hey, finally gone. He's gone, and Tampa Bay is like, oh no, we suck again. So hey, hey, call Jameis Winston. He might be not doing anything.
Yeah.
So all right, let's get to the coaching. New hires, new places. First coach I want to talk about, Josh McDaniels. Does he get it right? Goes to Las Vegas. He was 11-17 in a season and a half for Denver. Only coach to have Tim Tebow win a playoff game. Does he get it right this time? Because there's reports that leaving that organization like the Patriots, you have this demeanor where it's like, you're not as you have this Belichick demeanor because you try to be. Sometimes you piss players off. Does he get it right this time? I know he's in Las Vegas. Maybe he can change Derek Carr. Maybe they trade him and get somebody else. But do you think he has a better record, or does he stay longer than a season and a half with Vegas? Anybody?
Well, I think Raider Nation is going to choke him to death if he doesn't. That's not the organization you want to go to if you're going to go and try to be soft and try to make some of the mistakes that you made in the past. That organization, I know that ownership is going to want excellence out of them. Isn't that their motto? Excellence. So
just win, baby.
Yeah, just win. I think that he has learned from his ways. I think he's going to go, and I think he's going to do great things there in Las Vegas. I think Raider fans have a lot to look forward to, and I don't think the one thing that I heard on Twitter this week from Raider fans or not from Raider fans, but from McDaniel is he said that he learned from his mistakes there in Denver, and that he knew that he was kind of hard to work with. And any man that can admit to his own faults and then learn from that is a man that you want to get to know. So the fact that he could be retrospective on himself and say that, hey, I had some problems, but you know what? I went and I fixed them, and I'm willing to learn from them, and I'm willing to take input from other people now. I think that speaks volumes to his character, and I think all he could do from here on out with the Raiders is great things. I mean, there's a being from Southern California and knowing a lot of Raider fans here. Being a Raider fan is a big deal for a lot of these folks, and they're going to hold him to a high standard. They were in the playoffs this year. They were in the playoffs, correct? Yes, right?
Yes.
Yeah, the wild card, right? So
yes.
They're going to want that. They're going to want that every year, and they're going to want to go deeper and deeper into the playoffs. So he's going to have to make the moves and make things happen there. And I think he will. I think the Raiders have a lot to look forward to.
And to continue to go off of what SoCal was talking about the Oakland Raiders possibly making the playoffs.
Oh, be a coach.
I got Raiders fans on Instagram
Oakland
chiming for Deshaun Watson to join. Yeah. And I quote, we need Deshaun Watson.
That wouldn't be a bad idea.
Big Kerm. Hey, you know what? Kerm, I'll tell you this too, and I've been saying it for a long time. I've always been a fan of Derek Carr. Now, Derek Carr ended up in Tennessee. I'm good to go. Okay.
Win you no Super Bowl.
Now, about Josh McDaniels, I cannot say how happy I am for Josh McDaniels. I've had friends all of my life nickname him Josh McDouche, and I am a huge fan of the capabilities and seeing what that dude has done, leading men, running an offense, and partially helping run an organization in New England. Bill Belichick does not have that much success without Josh McDaniels. But then again, Bill Belichick was never going to stop him from going and getting a job either. But they did understand his value. And again, I agree with SoCal. For this man to go on live television and admit his faults as a coach and as a man trying to lead other men and saying that he can change, move forward, do better, I cannot wait to watch the Las Vegas Raiders play football. Because I already know one thing. Josh McDaniels is going to have his men prepared, unlike Dallas. They will be prepared. And that guy that you keep hating on, Derek Carr, can we stop hating on him? Saying he's not going to get you to the Super Bowl. Dude just had his first playoff game. Everybody can't beat Joe Burrow. And get sacked 9 times and then find a way to win a playoff game.
Hey, don't talk about sacks, okay? Chris Jones wants a multi-million-dollar contract. Can't bring the damn quarterback down, okay? One damn sack in that Chiefs game. But, all right, the next coach that got hired, and I wish he was on here, but he's not on here, so maybe we'll get his thoughts next week. Brian DeBull. Doesn't go with his boy Tua. He actually goes to New York. Interesting hire because I didn't see that coming. I know SoCal didn't see him coming going there. But why would he go and take Daniel Jones instead of?
And Ben said that they have to keep him.
Yes.
Well,
instead we're going to keep him.
Yeah, they said that he has to try and work it out.
Well, the reason he said that he would keep him is because he said he reminds him a lot of Josh Allen. And that he could turn him back. He could turn him into Josh Allen type. Not that he's going to have the same tool set, but they're similar body style, similar game. Those are Brian Daboll's words, not mine. So
that's unfair.
Well, it might be, but we're not the talent evaluators. He is. He turned Josh. You see Josh Allen's rookie year when Brian Daboll was not there. The next year when Brian Daboll came and joined that staff, Josh Allen was a different person. Everybody his rookie year said the guy was a scrub. He was a waste of a pick. The next year, oh, dude, this guy's got something. The next year after that, hey, he's in the championship game. Brian Daboll did something for Josh Allen. He turned him into somebody, and he's going to do the same to Daniel Jones.
Oh, man, I wish Big Boy was here to green like that. How many packs? I'll take that bet. I don't even know how much is going in it. I'm gonna pretend like there's something going on.
All right.
Something wrong there. I'm sorry.
All right.
There is in no way, shape, in any way, shape, or form that Josh Allen and Daniel Jones should ever be related.
All right.
That's
speculation. Without Brian Gable, the only thing they kept saying about Josh Allen is that he does too much. He came in and said, "Hey, if you're gonna do too much, let's work on that and focus it here." I'm sorry, I'm a Boise State fan. He was one of the cats that I had to play, so I know about Josh Allen in Wyoming.
All right,
just
telling you what my opinion is, what I think is going to happen.
That's why I'm willing to bet on it, but I ain't got my man here to greenlight it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we got some breaking news real quick. According to Jeff Krakis and also ESPN,
I like
Jim Harbaugh is staying with Michigan.
He totally trolled the NFL.
He trolled. He did. At first, I thought he was trolling. I thought he was trolling the Vikings, or actually trolling the Dolphins.
He was
by saying he would go to the Vikings, but maybe with the news we're gonna get to right now, maybe there's a reason why he's also going back to the NFL. So we're gonna talk about this topic just a little bit, give a little bit topic. I'm gonna let SoCal go ahead and lead with it for a little bit. What's going on with it's just your team? I mean, it was yours and Big Boy's team. I don't have any more. I don't have any Dolphin correspondents here unless I call my mom.
Oh no, you have a Dolphin correspondent right here.
I mean a Broncos correspondent. So I'm got a Broncos correspondent. But
I can tell you that Dolphin Twitter has been a buzz for the last week with the information that Jim might be a possibility to Miami. A lot of people were saying that he was talking to Ross behind the scenes, and from what we know now, Ross talked to people behind the scenes. So people were abuzz. I mean, it was the talk of the town per se that Jim was going to be the guy. That's why the Dolphins were not eager to get coach. And when he came out and said he was going to have an interview with the Vikings, I know a lot of Dolphin fans are saying, well, is he just trying to increase the amount of money he gets from the Dolphins, or I mean, why even go that route? And I watched a lot of other Dolphin YouTubers and radio shows, and everybody thought that Jim Harbaugh was possibly going to be a Miami Dolphin, and I was constantly telling them he's not. This is a smoke and mirror by Jim Harbaugh for more money, is what I felt it was. I thought he was trying to get more money out of the organization that he's in currently, which is the Wolverines. It's not a surprise to me, and actually I was able to take a deep breath because I did not want those khaki pants in Miami at all. I did not want those khaki pants in Miami at all. I mean, being that what we just went through and now what we're going to continue to go through, I think Miami is ready for kind of a relaxed coach, and having to deal with his drill sergeant-like mentality, I don't think would work well in Miami. Miami is not that kind of place. If you've ever been there, it's an upbeat, loud colors kind of place where everybody kind of just chills. That kind of drill sergeant mentality just doesn't work in that kind of town. And so I didn't believe that he would work in Miami. I know that he has connections to Stephen Ross, but I felt that was where it should end, is just that. Hey, you're at the university where Stephen Ross pays his alma mater there, and he's on the board there, and he should stay there. But there's a lot of guys like Douglas Durong and that were that wanted him, and we could because he was a coach that went to the Super Bowl, was a coach that went to the championship games, and that 49er team did pretty well. Yep, did pretty well. So Miami fans have been clamoring for a guy that had experience. We've been dealing with a lot of coaches that haven't had experience as far as head coaching experience, and so that's where the divide started. this topic, even though he's picked Michigan, probably in the Miami Dolphin atmosphere, is probably not going to end. Or it's probably still going to be a conversation, even though he said he's going back to Michigan. Yeah. To be honest with you, because Dolphin Nation, if there's one thing about us, is we argue about everything.
Yeah. All right, so let's get into a little bit of other things. We got some controversy going on with Brian Flores, former manager. Now, we got props to Brian Flores for having cojones to expose that Rooney Rule. Let me tell you something. That Rooney Rule was developed in 2003 to help minorities get at least the interview for head coaching position. And in 2009, it now includes general managers and front office positions in the NFL. All right. 1 out of the 27 coaches is African American. 1 is Puerto Rican / Mexican descent, and 1 was Lebanese descent. I don't think he's a head coach anymore. I think that was Anthony Lynn. Okay. So my thing is this: when it comes to the Rooney Rule, I think it's crap. I think it's crap because they use it as a crutch. Now, people might disagree with me or whatever they want, but give some people a fair shot, a fair chance. Don't just use it just to use it. And what Brian Flores is basically saying is that a lot of people are just saying, okay, look, just interview the guy, even though we're not gonna hire him. I get people do that in other businesses. They have somebody in mind already, but then don't have the rule. Because don't make a mockery of a rule if it's meant to help people, to give people a chance. If it doesn't, then just go away with the rule, and it is going to be what it is, right? I mean, until you get minority owners in the NFL, which may happen because the Denver Broncos are for sale. So maybe Magic Johnson buys the Denver Broncos, buys everything else. See what I'm saying? So I think that's one thing I have problem with this whole thing is props up. He actually said it. I mean, there was a conversation. I mean, big Belichick, I guess, calls Brian Flores and actually thinks he's talking to Brian DeBoll. Maybe that's true. Maybe it's not. But he messed up. He gave text messages, and he says, so you can't tell me you didn't see DeBoll on that. You just saw Brian. You just start texting.
That's the old man for you.
I mean, so
it's
messed up considering that it's like who had an interview with the Giants scheduled, and if they were like, yeah, we just gotta schedule it, and then according to Denver Broncos are doing the same thing. He's just saying, hey, they're doing it to satisfy the league. Well, then the league needs to step up and say, look, then we're just not going to do it anymore. You know, or do something with that. Do something. Find somebody. If not going to give them a shot, then find. You're going to have to start finding teams. If you're not going to give them a true shot, then start finding teams because it's just a mockery out of this whole Rooney Rule. I'm going to let SoCal go ahead and talk a little more.
For me, I've been talking about this extensively. And if you don't follow on Twitter, it's at Dolphins Show on Twitter. Go ahead and give us a follow. I've been talking about this situation a lot. As you know, Brian Flores was a Miami Dolphin coach fired by the Miami Dolphins. Now, there's a lot about Brian Flores that maybe not a lot of people know. There is a African-American sports reporter. His name is Omar Kelly. Brian Flores and him gotten plenty of fights, and he came out and said, hey, that guy's a jerk. Doesn't know how to talk to people, talks down to people, acts like he owns them. And this is before this allegation came out. The Rooney Rule, this is so when Brian Flores comes out and says that Stephen Ross said that, you know, he basically the mean black guy. No, sir, it was actually a African-American who said that about you. So go talk to him because he's the one that said that, and it's documented that he said that. So that's one narrative there. The other narrative is the Rooney Rule sucks, and it needs to be gone. I agree with you. You shouldn't have to bring in people, regardless of their color, if you already have somebody that you want. Now, if it's, hey, we need more minority owners, well, guess what? There's 32 teams. There's not 100 teams. There's only 32, and most of those 32 were passed down by family. And nobody can force them out unless they do something egregious in the NFL. So the chances of those teams on a majority level of chaining ownership of anytime soon is pretty slim to none. Listening to a couple of – go ahead.
Well, the Denver Broncos are up for sale.
That's what I'm
We
saying.
got-
I'm saying there's one, but I'm talking
got
about a
400
32.
Did we got $400 billion? We can buy them.
Yeah, there's I mean, there's a lot. That's a lot of money. And to be straight up with you, the only way you're gonna really fix this issue and make it where it's fair color wise across the board is you're gonna have to bring in more expansion teams. That's the only way that you're ever gonna make this equal to where it's fair for everybody. Unless the NFL is willing to add more teams where they bring in minority owners to buy those teams or purchase those teams to run those teams, that's the only way you're going to increase the volume of minority ownership. Because listen to what I'm saying. The 32 teams, or you said, Daniel, that one team is already up for sale, correct? That's the
Yes.
Broncos?
Yes.
Okay, so if you have those, now you have 31 teams. 31 teams aren't selling tomorrow. You're not changing ownership of those 31 teams. Not today, not tomorrow, probably not for the next 20 years. So for the next 20 years, you're stuck with those old white dudes. Correct? So if we're stuck with them, they're probably not going to change their ways. So if you want to inject more minorities in ownership, because I think that's what the problem really is, the only way to accomplish that, to even it out, is to bring in 31 or 32 minority owners. But they got to come from expansion teams. They can't come from within the teams that are already here created, because those teams already have owners. Do you understand my point?
I do, but I don't think they're going to. 64 teams is the answer. But I get what you're saying.
But I'm saying is, that's what I'm saying is, we're talking about something and we want change, but it's never going to happen with the people that are there currently. You're asking people that have a mentality to change their mentality. They're never going to change their mentality, because that's the way they've been doing it for the last 60 years, 70, 80, 90 years. You know what I mean?
Understandable.
So yes, it's wrong. I agree it's wrong. I know it needs to change. I think everybody agrees that. But unfortunately, those 31 other guys, they don't agree. And because they don't agree, it's not going to change. Everybody on the outside could say it needs to change. We could all agree, yeah, it needs to change. But unless you get those other 31 guys to agree with you, all you're doing is barking at a wall. Right. Nothing's going to happen.
We got a comment here. It's like, read this comment here. It says, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's Brian Flores' situation more of an indication that the Rooney Rule sucks, or that this about racism? I'm not here to talk about that. I mean, well,
I think that the Rooney Rule sucks, but I think it only sucks because it from an optics standpoint, it creates an environment of perceived racism, because it forces you to bring in minority coaches or candidates if you already had a candidate who was white and you pick him, it creates that illusion. I mean, I heard Marvin Lewis say today that, and I love that guy. I think that guy's great. He said, I was called by my agent to come in for an interview for the job for the Broncos a couple of years ago before John Fox got the job. And they said they already picked John Fox, but they wanted him to come in for an interview the day after. He came in for an interview. He knew it was a sham interview, but unfortunately, because of the way the rules are, that's the way that they're forced to do it.
Right.
And he said, they ended up, instead of saying, hey, John Fox was going to be a coach on Wednesday, when he knew of that, he had an interview Thursday. They announced John Fox on Friday. When the rules force you to do something, what do? They're forced. The NFL is forcing you to check the box, regardless of how it looks. Does it mean that those owners are racist? No, it doesn't. It doesn't mean that, because if they brought in a minority coach and it was the other way around, nobody's saying anything.
All right. I just like to say, yep, it makes sense to me. Joey, 2 Waters, you got anything to say on the subject?
Yeah, honestly, I didn't think I was going to say anything, but I want to come from a different standpoint, but not today. Okay. I'm going to have a separate show with my personal feelings about what's going on and what I feel and what I think has happened in the NFL. But as far as what I see straightforward, just some of the things that I've heard in some of these reports are scary.
Yep. There you go right there.
Um,
One minority owner.
Right.
Jackson.
And he's actually trying to get minorities in the front office.
Yep.
But that put aside, the bigger issue, and I know somebody's going to say, well, that's sideways. The bigger issue, the only issue that I'm willing to touch at this moment in time, if there's owners, it's not the NBA. The NBA, you can skip games. You take out your stars, you put in the bench, and they get experience. Basketball is not a gladiator sport. People's lives are on the line. And with presumed draft pick interest, you're shaving games, if that's what you want to call it.
Well, that's basically what they're doing, is basically saying, look, this is why maybe NFL should start, maybe they should have a lottery style, because what you're trying to say is say, hey, guess what? The more games you lose, the better our records are to get more our chance to get the top 5 picks.
Hold on. I completely understand that thought. But the only reason why I disagree with that is because, again, this is not basketball. It's a gladiator sport.
No.
Physical human bodies run between 15 and 25 miles an hour on collision. This is something that can change your life. And to hear of owners saying that they possibly might offer money for coaches to lose, or for coaches being hired, African-American coaches to be hired to lose, is a very, very scary, scary story in the NFL. I don't honestly think it'll change anything as of right now, but I do honestly believe it'll be addressed, and I will be going further into this topic on another day.
All right. So, yeah, the tanking situation, as far as hey, I'm gonna pay you extra amount of money to tank.
Scary.
Scary, very scary. Because these, like I said, yeah, this isn't pull my starters, whatever, trade a couple all-stars, we're gonna rebuild our team. This is people's lives that, like I said, I can only imagine our team coming out and says, to Wallace and myself, coming out the Tennessee Titans, Arizona Cardinals, and Kansas City Chiefs did the same thing to get who they got. That it's just wrong in all levels.
I mean, I will say, as a Miami Dolphin fan, I'm disturbed deeply by what I heard. But again, I don't know that it happened. I know that it's an allegation, and until it's proven, I mean, there's nothing I could do until then. And I think the NFL will take care of that at time. I don't think that the fan base should be affected by it, though. I don't think our draft picks and all that kind of stuff should happen to us. I think, if anything, you should get rid of the owner and find the owner. The owner should have to deal with it, since it was an owner-induced issue.
Correct. And I agree with you, but you said nothing's been documented. There has been something documented, but nothing against the Miami Dolphins as of yet.
No, what I'm saying is nothing has happened in court. I'm not saying that
in litigation there has been something, but nothing with Miami. It has with Cleveland and the NFL pushing under the rug, as of reports on ESPN earlier today.
I mean, I'm sure that would happen with Stephen Ross with that whole thing. I'm sure. I'm probably 100% guarantee it's probably happening with 90% of the teams.
I think it happened.
The fact that Bill Belichick knew exactly what the Giants were doing when that's not his organization tells me that the NFL people on the backside of things are making phone calls and texting and talking and doing things they ain't supposed to be doing.
Now let me add this. Let me add this to that real quick. So Cal, real quick. So Cal, how deep does this rivalry go? Does anybody really think on purpose I text the wrong Brian?
I don't know, man.
I'm sorry. I would respect Bill Belichick a lot more if he did it on purpose.
Yeah, but this is potentially going to get him in some deep crap. So, I mean, this might cost him a lot. I don't think Bill Belichick's innocent in any of this, even though he sent that text message. All he did is put a spotlight on him and all the backdoor things he's doing, because
All he's got to say is oops.
Yeah, but why did you know that? That's a question that I want to know.
All right, so let's
That's
get
the question everybody wants to know.
So let me. Okay, we're gonna leave it there. We have a new team in Washington, and it's the Commanders, as you see right here.
Yeah.
There it is, good old boys, right? The Commanders. So I got a lot of comments about here. We got here is Rashawn. I don't like the new name in Washington. She says they should have stayed with the Washington football team. We have the Washington Commies. Okay.
The Commies.
Yeah.
That's gonna happen.
Or I like this. It's called the Washington D.C. Commanders. You know what I'm saying? So, you guys like the name? I mean, I purposely was hoping that they would go and change everything to do with from the color scheme to the knee to the name, just for the fact that get rid of that other name that they had. You know, get rid of the Washington name that they had for years. Okay, to get rid of that name and change the colors, go to a different. I was hoping, like I said, maybe they go to what the Capitals and the Monument and the Wizards are, which is you know blue white, blue white and red white and blue, just kind of change it up. I gotta say that the next thing they need to do is now get rid of Dan Snyder, but that's another story for another day. But
yeah, that's another guy I got my hand on.
So, but do we like the unis here, as you guys can see right here?
I'll take that first if you don't mind, SoCal. I hate the name with everything. Look, you guys know how long I've been lobbying for the Warthogs, and then for short, you can be like, look, the Washington Hogs. And it fits along with their aggressive nature and their history. And it even goes along with, I believe his name was Greg or Gary Allen, one of their old coaches. He said, I don't like kids, so I'm going to hire all vet. So his whole team consisted of football players that were family oriented. He hired older football players. He wanted experienced football players. Warthogs have a very family, very natured, just the animal itself. It would have fit everything, plus their history, and plus moving forward. The only thing I love those uniforms. I love those uniforms.
That black one is sick, right? Look at that helmet. Ooh, that thing is money. That is money.
I don't like the Commodores. Look, I said the Commodores.
The Commodores.
Commanders.
I'll take the Commodores.
Yeah, I'll take the Commodores too. Like, shoot, if you gonna go there, shoot.
The Commanders.
Now on the Washington Commodores. There you go.
The Washington Commanders sounds like a team on Xbox Blitz. You know. Really, that's what it sounds like to me. It doesn't sound like an NFL team.
This sounds like like from the movie The Replacements or Any Given Sunday.
Yeah,
it's one of those type of deals. So
yeah. Well, the thing that's the most striking to me is, Dan Snyder asked his fan base for name suggestions, and nobody had Commanders. So nobody. It tells you nobody. He didn't listen to anybody in his fan base. He didn't listen to any of the suggestions, and he said, "Yeah, I'll do this by myself." Isn't that a Snyder thing to do?
There you go. Cowboys are intimidated with the Washington new name. We're sweeping them again.
The Cowboys versus the Commanders.
There you go.
Wow. I think people are still going to call them that Washington team, though. Not, just in rebellion to the Commanders.
The first one or the second one?
I don't know.
So, all right. So that's the new one there. Another story is the fact that, hey, MLB, we're going to shift a little bit to baseball. MLB is in really bad shape. What I mean by real bad shape is, we are, let's see, it is February 2nd. And right now we should be getting ready for pitchers and catchers to report. This is all about CBA. It's all about CBA money. You can go into it. I try to research some of this stuff. My head hurt. It's about how much money players get here, how much money players can get on here. Yes, it's a strike. We're going to go on strike. It's the first strike in a long time, I believe, since like 94. And they're already in jeopardy to delay spring training. Spring training is supposed to start February 25th and 26th. I doubt that. They've been in meetings for 2 days earlier this week, and it lasted like 10 minutes, 5 minutes. They're so far away. You know how far they are, folks? They're far as I think I'm closer to California from Florida to my boys over there in Cali than they are into reaching an agreement.
Wow, that far off, huh?
It is extremely far. The season starts the end of March 31st. I doubt they're going to go there. I think they're going to be right now. It's an off-season lockout, and I agree with Romero that it's going to turn into a strike. It's going to turn into another strike, and I don't think baseball can afford another strike because guess what? It took a steroid era to get them out of that last time. I don't see it happening. Like I said, it's all about money. It's all about the CBA and about type of money people get from earnings to draft picks to hey, you can keep your draft picks. Yeah. Bring back the Roy chick dig the long ball. Exactly. People are like, the owners are like, hey, what if you guys keep your draft picks as long as you keep those people on your team? So now you're trying to tell them don't trade the future to get better now and grow. It's so far, like I said, if you guys like go on MLB.com, you can have the latest CBA news. I personally I try to write some of it down today and I got lost. So that's where I am with the MLB, just a little bit MLB latest news. So, well, go ahead, Tua.
I have a question for you. For somebody who's like wanting to know baseball, somebody who's trying to get to know baseball, I'm going to actually get into baseball this season. I'm going to start watching more games, but I do have that question for you. You got new head coaches. Who was the most effective hire and for what team? As far as new managers.
It depends on what kind of style you're looking at. Like Dave Roberts has been great for the Dodgers. The last few years, right? If you look at Dusty Baker, as much as I really don't like the guy, he did a pretty good job for Houston as far as just getting them back to doing that whole boat and getting them through. Gabe Kapler in the AL, the Giants did a great job this year. If you're looking at the guy from New York, right, Aaron Boone. Hey man, New York is hard. New York is very hard to play, especially Yankees. I mean, so it's a lot. Yes, Mr. Toothpick and Dusty Baker. Yes, he did a great job. I mean, I granted the Astros for what they did. Yes, they cheated the game, right? But cheat gate, right? So
Yeah.
Video gate, trash can gate, whatever you want to call it.
Does Robert Caraff on that team?
Yeah, maybe.
How about new places, new faces?
Right now, everything is stopped. Everything is stopped. I mean, the latest we got is that Corey Seager is going to Texas, but as far as like, there's no news on like any other people. Clayton Kershaw, nobody can do anything right now. They can't sign anybody. They can't sign anybody. They can't talk to nobody until they get this CBA thing finalized. It's just it's a strike. You're chilling. You're not fishing because it's just not even the summer. But it's just going to be just as bad as when before they took the 60-game season. They just had a 60-game season 2 years ago.
2 years ago, yeah.
And it took them that long to get a final as far as what they're going to do. 60 games, only going to play your side of the nation. So West will play West and Central play Central and so on and so forth. And that took them to get 60 games. And then to do the playoffs are going to be in this stadium, World Series is going to be in this stadium, for that. I can only imagine now that they're going to be like, it could be, will it be another 60-game season? I don't know if there'll be another 60-game season. However, it's going to be delayed. I'd be very shocked that come March 31st, I'm watching opening day, Colorado versus Dodgers, or watching any spring training game.
I mean, they still got to figure out their teams.
Yeah. I mean,
we still don't have full rosters.
Exactly. I mean, you got free agents everywhere.
Yeah.
And, so it's like, it's going to be chilling. But what I'm looking forward to, so we'll get back to, let's go with the looking forward to. And what I'm looking forward to this weekend is, and I don't know if you guys noticed. I'm sorry, SoCal, for blocking you here.
No, you're good.
But the LA Coliseum back where you guys they turned that sucker into a racetrack. Here's the photo. It's gonna be the Clash. Inside the Clash is gonna be the Clash this weekend to kick off. It's like an all-star game for NASCAR. So it's gonna be a little bit of it's pretty cool to see this. I believe it's the first time it's in a football stadium or a Coliseum. In fact, I like it. It's unique. It's going to be unique to the sport because they're going to do this and then in 2 weeks after the Super Bowl, they'll go to Daytona where it really starts, where their season really kicks off. Because NASCAR does it backwards. They have their Super Bowl, their very first race of the year, and then they kind of go. They just go with the rest of the races. So I'm looking forward to NASCAR, but is that game? I mean that I wish I was in Cali this weekend. I wish I was in Cali. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, go to Ricky Bobby. If you're not first, you got last. So I mean, what do you guys think of that? I mean, it's pretty cool, right?
I mean, I think it's pretty dope, man. I mean, I heard a little bit about it. I heard some controversy about it, but I think overall, I think it'd be a great thing. I mean, more people need to get into NASCAR and into the motorsports anyways. And what better way to promote it in the inner city than right there smack dab right in the middle of it? I think that'd be great, man. Get kids to see it, get big eyes on it, and I think it'd be great.
Well, I think my only question is what's the max hold or what's the biggest audience ever? I guess this is a Guinness question. What's the biggest audience ever for a racing event like that? And how much does that stadium hold, and could it possibly beat it?
I don't think it can hold. Let me find out real quick.
SoCal, you got any racing background? I know you for years. I remember that yellow Doom buggy you used to hold with the clutch, and you used to smack that thing.
Yeah,
but
I'm no NASCAR guy. I'm nah. That's not my forte.
You know what? I remember the first time I went to Irwindale Speedway and I watched the pickup trucks race. That was pretty cool.
Man, I never even knew what the Irwin Speedway was. I used to drive by it all the time and never knew what they did there.
Yeah, man. It's actually it's kind of fun, like you get to talk to people. It has like a baseball feel, like when you go, like you said, you talk to people, you watch what's going on. Like for me, football and basketball are kind of different because I'm like huge. I guess maybe it's different when I go to those kind of events because I'm not like a huge fan of the sport. But if I were to go to a football or basketball game, it'd be completely different. But it's definitely fun. Oh, the food is definitely good at Irwindale Speedway. I'm not even going to front.
All right, so here's your Irwindale. I mean, Indianapolis Motor Speedway holds 257,325 people.
That's a lot of rednecks.
That's a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot of rednecks for IndyCar. Okay,
it's a lot of booty shorts.
Yes, and then if you go, and that's here in the United States. Okay, if you go to France, they have a circus that and it has 234,800 people. So a lot.
Can I get right on those shorts?
Bristol holds 162,000 folks.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be a lot of people in that Coliseum, which is pretty cool. I mean, I was there the year the Dodgers played a spring training game there. I worked that event, so that was pretty cool to see. It's good to see that, Hey, the only thing I don't like to see in that Coliseum is that other team that thing. Them right there. I don't like the Trojans.
I love Rick and
Bobby. Trojan football is about to be dominant again, dude. So all right, you better get ready.
Oh my goodness. SoCal, congratulations. I cannot wait for the episode of UCLA USC between Big Chief Daddy and SoCal. If you guys do not know the history of these two, this one is USC, this one is UCLA. They both have offensive, famous coaches. LA is about to be live here on SPORTSDADDYTV, y'all.
Yeah, I can't wait. I cannot wait for that game. We'll see what happens next year.
And
all
Boise State is still waiting for the invitation to get into the Pac-12 again.
Yeah. All right. So, final thoughts as we get ready to close out this evening's show. We'll start with Two Wallets. What you got?
All right, I got something. It's personal. You guys have both told me that I need to pick a name. I have chosen a name for my show that I will be doing on here. As you guys know, I have In the Car with Joey Two Wallets. I'm not changing it. In the Car with Joey Two Wallets will strictly be in the car. And when I'm on here and I'm doing videos, it's going to be in the mic with Joey Two Wallets.
All right, in the mic.
Two different stations, same Joey Two Wallets.
There you go. All right, and SoCal, a couple minutes left. What we got for you? What's going on with you gonna do another show this Friday? What's going on?
Oh yeah, every Friday we're gonna change it up a little bit. We're gonna start. We're gonna have a video that you can watch after we go live on Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook. We're gonna be able to post that after those live shows to YouTube. So if you miss those two shows, you can actually go on YouTube and then watch it there. Also, we got a lot of we're lining up a lot of good guests for anybody that's a Dolphin fan. Come watch the show. I'm lining up a lot of good guests. I'm going to have a lot of good people. We're going to have Fan of the Year on there, NorCal. Lining up some. Trying to get Dougie on there. He's a Dolphin YouTuber, 30,000 followers. Trying to get him on there. A lot of great knowledge with that guy. Got some other things lined up. Got Danny Johnson from the Positive Porpoise, runs a cancer organization for independent from the Dolphins, but with them. Gonna have him on this Friday, and also, got to have the crazy man, the wild man. The show wouldn't be what it is without the wild man. So we'll have him. We'll be on there talking about this Brian Flores stuff, talking about the scandals going on, also talking about our coaching search. I don't know if you know, but we still don't have a coach. So we'll be talking about that. Also, we'll be talking about the Senior Bowl, players to be looking out for, and general Dolphin stuff we'll be talking about. So if you're interested, come and watch. Yeah, glad to have anybody on.
All right. So, yep. And we'll be back with those shows. Be on the lookout for those shows as well. But if you missed any of this show, you could always find it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor. If you want to see us because you like our beautiful faces, go on YouTube. You'll be on YouTube probably tomorrow morning. YouTube, Sports Daddy TV on YouTube. Go ahead, download that show. Watch it. While you're there, click and subscribe to the channel. Also, share it with your buddies. Share it with us. Let them know. Hey, let them know that, hey, guess what? There are some people talking crazy stuff. And when we get serious, if we have to get serious, folks, we're going to get serious. Okay, we're not going to run away from certain topics. We're going to give you our opinion on how everything goes. Some people might like it. Some people might not. It's okay. But other than that, I will be signing off for guys, and we'll talk to you guys later. Have a great week, and we'll see you next week. We'll preview the Super Bowl next week. We got a week. We got the Pro Bowl. I like the skills challenge in the Pro Bowl. We got the NHL All-Star game. I like the skills challenge in the NHL All-Star game. Not really thrilled about the actual games. But hey, sport is sport. We'll care. If it's on, we'll break it down next week. You guys have a great day.